Dear students, we have already discussed about formation of PDE by eliminating arbitrary constants, function, homogeneous equation, non-homogeneous equation, as well as Lagrange's PDE, right? Now, where we are applying these PDE concept, that is very important now. Now, especially this PDE concept, we are applying in solving the problems related to heat equation, wave equation, and its various possible solution. Okay, now let us derive one dimensional wave equation. Very important derivations. Both derivations are very important. Wave equation as well as heat equation and its various possible solutions. Now for this, first we require to draw a figure. It is like this. Consider a x and y axis. Now this is one stretchable string we are fixing between two endpoints. Either you can name it as O and A also, or some other point P. It is your wish, or you can just draw a figure like this. It is a string. Now here we are drawing a tangent. Before that, we are taking the small element AB here of length L. Okay. Now here small element is there. Now we are applying tensions T1 and T2. That is just like a. Now draw a tangent at first point as well as the second point, and the length AB is L. Now from point A, draw a perpendicular to x-axis. From point B, draw perpendicular to x-axis. The length will be what? Here this small change is delta x. Okay. From here to here distance is x. From here to here is x plus delta x. Okay. Now because the small element of length L, that is here, change is delta x. So total length is here x plus delta x, and which makes an angle alpha here, and B makes an angle beta. Okay. Now let us discuss one by one points. Consider a flexible string tightly stretched between two fixed points at a distance L. Okay. Then what is the mass per unit length of the string? Rho. Let rho be the density or mass per unit length of the string. Now we have to assume the following points to prove the relation. Okay. The tension T of the string is small throughout. Now this is completely based on your physics concept, that is gravitational force, tension, everything you have to recall the definitions. The tension T of the string is small, and the effect of gravity can be ignored due to large tension T. See, we are neglecting the gravitational force because of the large tension T. Now the motion of the string is in small transverse vibration. That means what? Suppose if you want to release the string, say if you want to release a string, then what happens? It will move vertically, right? Just you consider one example, like a pen spring you can consider. You just bend it and you just fix it in two different points and just release one side, then automatically it will start perpendicular vibration, right? Is transverse vibration. So that what happens? Horizontal components cancel each other, right? Or it will be constant. See here, we are discussing that only. Now let us consider the forces acting on a small element AB of length delta x, right? Now here T1 and T2 be the tensions at the points, what? 2 points A and B. Tension at A is T1 and tension at B is T2. Since there is no motion in the horizontal direction, the horizontal components cancel each other, right? So how can you write T1 and T2 are tensions applied at the point A and B, right? Here this is the point A, this is the point B, tension T1 and tension T2. Now since the string which moves in a transverse direction, its horizontal component cancel each other. So how can you write it in terms of expression? See, since there is no motion in the horizontal direction, the horizontal components t1 and t2 must cancel each other. That is what? T1 cos alpha, horizontal always cosine of the angle, right? And perpendicular always sine of the angle. T1 cos alpha equal to T2 cos beta equal to, let us consider it as a constant capital T, where alpha and beta are the what? Angles made by T1 and T2 with the horizontal. But what about vertical components then? Vertical components are what? Here angle is alpha at the point A and angle is beta at the point B. But the thing is, here T1 acts vertically downward. So for downward direction, what we can mention the direction here? Minus. And for T2, it is upward. So we can mention positive, right? So minus T1 sine alpha, vertical component, minus T1 sine alpha, and here plus T2 sine beta, because alpha and beta are the angle made by A and B respectively vertically, right? But the thing is what here, T1, the negative sign indicates tension. T1 acts downward, and always you have to remember, for downward direction and for left side and for back side, that is the direction measurement is negative, right? And for right up and front side, direction measurement is positive. So because of this, here what we are getting? Minus T1 sine alpha and T2 sine beta. Sorry, it should be sine beta, not cos beta. Okay, sine beta, where negative sign indicates T1 directed to downwards. Hence, the resultant force acting vertically upward is what? Take their summation. So what? T2 sine beta, it should be T2 sine beta minus T1 sine alpha, right? If you take this completely together, you will get what? Resultant force. But where we are applying this? By Newton's second law of motion. How to continue with this? Apply Newton's second law of motion. What is force? Equal to mass into acceleration. What is meant by force here? Resultant force. What is meant by that resultant force? T2 sine beta minus T1 sine alpha, right? Equal to mass. Mass means what? Density represent rho. Here rho into delta x gives mass. That is what? Rho density means mass by volume. Rho equal to m by delta x. Now what is m? Rho delta x. What is acceleration? Rate of change of velocity. That is, here we are representing u dt, right? Or dou square u by dou t square. Now, this rho delta x is the what? Mass of the element portion AB, and UTT represent acceleration. Now, divide throughout by capital T. Then what it will give us? T2 by capital T sine beta minus T1 by, it should be minus T1 by T sine alpha equal to rho by T delta x into dou square u by dou t square. Okay, but actually what is meant by T1 by T and T2 by T, it's already we have mentioned in this previous case. See, here T1 by T gives 1 by cos alpha and T2 by T gives 1 by cos beta. Replace back it in this expression, so that what we will get? T1 by T means 1 by cos alpha, T 2 by t gives 1 by cos beta. Replace here back. After dividing, what you will get? Sin beta by cos beta minus sin alpha by cos alpha, right? Equal to rho by t delta x dou square u by dou t square. But sin by cos gives tan, right? Tan beta minus tan alpha equal to rho by t delta x dou square u by dou t square. But what it represents? Tan alpha and tan beta represent tangent, that is slope of the tangent. At what point? At capital A, and this is at capital B. So tan beta and tan alpha represent what? Slopes at B and A, because we have taken beta first, so B, tan alpha later, that is A. Okay, how to write it in the Standard form tangent. First order derivative represents slope of the tangent. So here first order partial derivative we are discussing. So what is tan alpha? Dou u by dou x at the point x, because at A. And dou u by dou x at the point x plus delta x, that is tan beta. Now mention here tan beta is what? Dou u by dou x at the point x plus delta x, because from the figure it should be alpha here at the point A, that is x. Beta here at the point it should be x plus delta x, because this length is delta x. Okay. Now what we will get here? Tan beta represent dou u by dou x at the point x plus delta x, minus tan alpha represent dou u by dou x at the point x, equal to, write as it is rho by t delta x dou square u by dou t square. Now just divide throughout by delta x to eliminate this part and apply the limit as delta x tends to 0. What you will get? Limit dou u by dou x at the point x plus delta x minus dou u by dou x at the point x divided by delta x as delta x tends to 0 equal to rho by t. Here delta x get cancelled because we are dividing, right? Dou square u by dou t square. But everyone look into this. This is the definition of partial derivative of what? Dou u by dou x with respect to x. This is the definition of first principle derivative dy by dx. How will you mention? F of x plus delta x minus f of x divided by delta x as delta x tends to 0, that is what? Dy by dx. But here instead of f or instead of y, here dou is there, that is partial derivative. So dou by dou x of dou u by dou x, right? Dou by dou x of dou u by dou x, that is dou square u by dou x square equal to rho by t into dou square u by dou t square. But we want dou square u by dou t square, just multiply this t by rho into dou square u by dou t square. Dou x square, that is nothing but c square, or dou square u by dou t square equal to c square into dou square u by dou x square, or utt equal to c square uxx. That itself is what? Derivation of one dimensional wave equation. Okay, students, please go through with the both the derivations. Both derivations are very important. Now, how to find various possible solution of this wave equation by variable separable method, or the method of product. We can say product method or variable separable method. Say here how to obtain the solution for one dimensional wave equation. What is wave equation? We have already proved dou square u by dou t square equal to what? C square into dou square u by dou x square, right? Now, first we have to choose, since it is a product method, we have to choose this u in terms of other two variables x and t in the form of product. But you have to choose capital X into capital T, where capital X and capital T are function of small x and small t respectively. Okay, so let u equal to capital XT, where capital X is function of small x and capital T is function of small t. Now, see, if you take u equal to xt here, what you will get? Just put u equal to xt. It will convert to what? X is constant, keep it out. Here only remaining t. Here with respect to x, t constant, take it out. Then remaining is capital X. Right? Now, after taking this, this partial derivative becomes a ordinary derivative. That is, capital X you keep out, d square u by dt square equal to c square capital T into d square. Here instead of u, xt we are taking, right? So here x outside, d square t by dt square equal to c square capital T into d square x by dx square. Okay, now after that step you have to divide throughout by the constants. What is that constant? C square capital X capital T. See here the thing is, we have to convert capital T and small t one side and capital X and small x one side. Our intention is that one. Okay, now if you divide, what you will get? 1 by c square t outside because x get cancelled because we are dividing throughout by capital X, capital T and c square. So 1 by c square capital T into d square t by dt square equal to 1 by x into d square x by dx square. Now see here it contains only t and small t. Here it contains only capital X and small x. Equate both sides to a common constant k. That is 1 by c square t into d square t by dt square equal to k, and 1 by x into d square x by dx square equal to k. Then what we will get here? Say, after equating to constant, can we collect one side? That is d square capital T by dt square minus c square kt equal to 0 and d square x by dx square minus kx equal to 0. Now this is in the form of what? Differential equation. Now that is, if you take capital T outside, what remains? And small d by dt is capital D. So this becomes capital D square minus c square k into t equal to 0. Similarly, d square minus k into x equal to 0. Now there are three different cases, right? Because you cannot predict its solution directly. Here, either if k is 0, what you will get? If k is negative, what you will get? And if k is positive, what you will get? These three cases you have to discuss here. Suppose k equal to 0, then what happens? D square, here t equal to 0 and d square x equal to 0. See both the case, d square equal to 0. So d equal to 0, d equal to 0, even here d equal to 0, d equal to 0. So roots are repeated, same roots, that is capital X is what? C1 plus C2x e power 0x. Capital T is what? C1, C2 already used. So C3 plus C4 T e power 0t, because capital T is function of small t, capital X is function of small x. So at the end you have to write u equal to xt because we have chosen the product u equal to xt form, right? So just replace capital X and capital T. Just multiply C1 plus C2x into C3 plus C4t. This is one case. Now let us discuss second case. Let k is positive. But the thing is here d square, here c square. So can we choose k equal to some other p square? Because everything is in terms of square. You choose k in terms of positive p square. Okay. Or for negative you can choose negative. Okay. Now first let us discuss k is negative, k equal to minus p square. Then what you will get? D square minus p square into x equal to 0 and d square minus c square into p square t equal to 0. Now equate this, then what you will get? Here the solution is like this, right? Sorry dear, here students, please be careful. Here it should be plus p square. K is positive. Case 3 is we have to discuss with the negative p square. Okay. Case 2 is plus p square. Make the small correction. K is positive. That is k equal to plus p square. Then d square minus p square into x equal to 0 and d square minus c square p square into t equal to 0. Now what you will get? Auxiliary equation, equate this to 0. D square minus p square 0. So d equal to plus or minus p. Similarly, d square minus c square p square equal to 0. So d equal to plus or minus cp. You will get the roots. Roots are real and different. See here, plus p minus p, plus cp minus cp. So how to write capital X? Roots are different, and c1, c2, c3, c4 we already used in case 1. So next continue with the next number constant c5 e power plus px plus c6 e power minus px. Similarly, how to write capital T? That is c7 e power cpt plus c8 e power minus cpt. So what is the total solution? X into t. U equal to x into t. That is this into this. Okay. Just you write the product. No need to expand. Last case, case 3. Let k be negative. So k equal to what? Minus p square. If you take minus p square, the given expression becomes what? Just replace here. If you choose k equal to minus p square, what you will get? D square plus c square p square into t equal to 0. Similarly, d square plus p square into x equal to 0, right? Now, if you take this and write the auxiliary equation, d square plus p square equal to 0 and d square plus c square p square equal to 0. So d square equal to minus p square. So d equal to plus or minus root minus p square. Root minus 1 means I. Root p square means p. So d equal to plus or minus ip. Here d equal to plus or minus icp. Okay. Now roots are complex. That is one pair of complex root, right? How to write? Already up to C8 we have used. Now e power 0x C9 cos px plus C10 sin px. And what is capital T? E power 0t. Here C11 cos cpt plus C12 sin cpt. So product of this gives solution, right? That is u equal to capital XT. That is the product of this gives us direct solution. Understood? Now let us move to the another derivation, that is one dimensional heat equation. Okay. Now to prove one dimensional heat equation, we have to assume the following concept. That is, first one, we have to remember the following empirical laws. Heat flows from higher temperature to a lower temperature. Okay, first point. Second point, the amount of heat in a body is proportional to its mass and temperature. These are the empirical laws you have to remember. Third point, the rate of inflow across an area is proportional to the area itself and to the temperature gradient normal to the area, where the constant of proportionality K is called what? Thermal conductivity. You have to write the following empirical laws, then only you have to consider the slab, or just you consider the homogeneous bar. It is just like a cubic cube diagram, just you make it flat, that's it. Similarly you include one more slab here. So PQRS and P dash Q dash R dash S dash, initial point is O. From origin to this first slab length is x, from here to this slab length is delta x, so that from origin to last slab it will give us x plus delta x. It is just like a wave equation only, but here instead of a string we are considering the homogeneous bar. Consider the homogeneous bar of constant cross section area capital A, and rho be the density, S be the specific heat, and K is the thermal conductivity of the material. Okay. Now these are the basic definitions. By using the empirical laws you have to write. Let the sides be insulated so that the streamlines of the heat flows are parallel and perpendicular to the area. That means heat flows parallelly and perpendicular to the area. Right. Now let one end of the bar be taken as origin. Already I have explained that origin O, and the direction of the heat flows be the positive x-axis. That means left to right heat flows. Let U of xt be the temperature of the slab at a distance x from the origin. Even this also I have showed. From origin to the first slab we have to take the distance as x. Now consider an element of bar between the planes PQRS and P dash Q dash R dash S dash at a distance x and x plus delta x from the end O. That also I have explained in the figure. The length distance from origin to the first slab is x, and from first slab to the second slab is delta x, so that the complete distance from origin to the second slab is x plus delta x. That I have already explained. Now here, let delta U be the what? Change in temperature in the slab thickness delta x of the bar. Thickness I have already mentioned. From first slab to second slab, thickness is delta x. The mass of the element is what? A rho delta x, right? Because here first you can write density. Density means mass by volume. So what is the volume here? Total A into rho delta x. Delta represent rho represent density, A delta x represent volume. So what is mass of the element? A rho delta x. Now the quantity of heat in this slab element is what? A rho delta x into S into delta U, right? Now hence the rate of increase of heat in this slab element R, let it be R, that is nothing but A rho S delta x This is dou u by dou t. Now what is R1 and R naught? That is inflow and outflow of heat. R1 represent inflow, R naught represent outflow of the heat. What is inflow of the heat? That is starts from origin minus Ka into dou u by dou t. This negative sign indicates what? Because of the empirical laws, heat flows from higher temperature to lower temperature. R1 equal to what? Minus inflow. That means that is from the origin. See, this is inflow R1. This is outflow R0. Okay. Now, here R1 represent minus Ka into dou u by dou t at the point x. R0 represent minus Ka into dou u by dou t at the point x plus delta x, where the negative sign is due to the empirical law 1. Now, from this two expression, actually what is meant by R? So, R0 minus, here R1 minus R0 gives us total R. So, what is R1 minus R0? Ka dou u by dou x at the point x plus delta x minus Ka dou u by dou x at the point delta x. But what is R? That is the flow of heat. We have given flow of heat in a slab element R. That is A rho S delta x dou u by dou t, which is nothing but the difference between this. Right? So, what we will get here? That is Ka common dou u by dou x at the point x plus delta x minus dou u by dou x at the point x. Again, what is dou u by dou t? See, this dou u by dou t gives us what? A get cancelled. So, what remains? Finally, rho s delta x remains, right? Rho s delta x. Here k get cancelled. What? K square remains. A get cancelled. So, here by mistake we have written one more k remains, a get cancelled, k by rho s, and this again represent what? If you apply the limit as delta x tends to 0, you will get dou square u by dou x square because of the definition of partial derivative. So what is dou u by dou t? That is dou u by dou t is nothing but c square into dou square u by dou x square. So this is called what? One dimensional heat equation. This result also very important. Again, same procedure we are applying as in the wave equation. How to find various possible solution of this one dimensional heat equation? Again, same procedure. First, consider one dimensional heat equation here. Sorry, here by mistake we have written wave heat equation, that is dou u by dou t equal to c square into dou square u by dou x square. Now, first put u equal to capital Xt, where capital X is function of small x, capital T is function of small t. Now, again dou by dou t of capital Xt. What is constant with respect to t? Capital X, take it outside. Remaining term we have to write it in the form of ordinary derivative, that is capital X into d capital T by d small t. Okay. C square into again dou square by dou x square into capital Xt. Again with respect to x, capital T constant, keep outside, c square capital T into d square capital X by dx square. Now divide throughout by this c square capital X capital T. So you will get 1 by c square capital T d capital T by d small t equal to 1 by capital X d square x by dx square. Now here only t and small t, here only capital X and small x. Equate both sides to a common constant k, so that 1 by c square t into dt by dt equal to k, and 1 by x into d square x by dx square equal to k. Now dt by dt equal to c square k into t, or dt by dt equal to minus c square kt equal to 0. Similarly, d square capital X into d divided by dx square equal to what? Kx, or d square x by dx square minus kx equal to 0. Now you have to write this in the form of differential equation and write its auxiliary equation and discuss other three cases. How to write? Put d by dt equal to capital D. Similarly here d by dx equal to capital D. Here if you take d by dt equal to capital D, what you will get? Capital D minus c square k into t equal to 0. Here d square minus k into x equal to 0. So what is capital D in the first case? D by dx. What is capital D in the second case? D by dt. Now let us discuss one by one case. Case 1, suppose k equal to 0, this becomes what? Capital dt equal to 0, here d square capital X equal to 0. Now what is the solution for this? For x, what you will get? There are two roots, d square equal to 0 means 0 0. See, already here we have taken this d equal to 0 means one root c1 e power 0 small t, right? And here c2 plus c3x e power 0x. Now what is the product? Just multiply that product, so you will get the final solution of PDE. Now suppose case 2, k equal to plus p square, just here make the correction, k be positive, that is say k equal to plus p square. Then what you will get? D square minus p square x equal to 0 and d minus c square p square t equal to 0. So what you will get? D square minus p square equal to 0. That means d equal to plus or minus p. Here d equal to c square p square plus cp or minus cp. Here you should be very careful. What we will get the solution at the end? Here roots are real and distinct. C5 e power px plus c6 e power minus px. Here we are getting only the positive value. Here d, only d equal to c square p square, it should be c square p square. So we are getting c7 e power c square p square t. So product of these two gives us final solution. And at the end, case 3, suppose k is negative, that is k equal to minus p square, then d square plus p square x into x equal to 0 and d plus c square p square t equal to 0. Now equate both sides to 0, then that is auxiliary equation, d square equal to minus p square or d equal to plus or minus ip. Similarly here d equal to minus cp, okay, minus c square p square. Now if you take the complementary function, you will get what? One pair of complex root. So c9 cos px plus c10 sin px, and here c11 e power minus cpt, because here d equal to minus c square p square, it should be minus c square p square t. So product of these two gives the required solution. Okay, now this is the various possible solution of heat equation and wave equation. Okay.